Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, recently, gaming seems to be changing in its direction. Over the past few years, gaming has been a battlefield where the amount of political nonsense has increased, and really it's infested like a plague, bringing the term woke front and centre. I just remember the days where I'd play a video game and that'd be it. No political messages, nothing, unless you were playing a JRPG. Politics is in that, and that's part of it. Fine. But now, as an old man, I just feel my eyes rolling every time I see that obvious forced diversity inserted into my games, and I'm like, ugh, really? Now, I'll make this very clear, some people may disagree with what I'm going to say here, and this is my video of just me, old man, shouting, ranting at the clouds. But I'll make this very clear. I don't really care if my protagonists or any of the characters are black, gay, have one leg, trans, a woman, whatever. As long as they're interesting, they're well designed, there's a good story and good gameplay. That's all I give a rat's arse about. But it's when these traits are placed front and centre and become the main character's focus rather than just being, I don't know, a part of them, that's when I get really annoyed. So today I'm going to be looking at 10 things that annoy me about woke culture in these games. And if you find examples of these in retro games, put them in the comments below. And as I said, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But let me know in the comments. But also, I get ranty. That's just what I do. Remember, we've got the weekly podcast and we've got a $1 a month Patreon, which you can join in, and the link is in the description below. Right, let's get into it, shall we? 10 woke stuff I really don't like in my games. At number 10, pronouns. Oh my lordy, I remember when this all became a thing. Forza Horizon 5, Saints Row 4, Temtem, Concord, especially Concord, and Starfield. Yes, we all know that. I feel I should have Az from Heels vs. Babyface shouting at this point, but I can't be arsed editing it in. This became a thing in the real world before it got into gaming, and it was on people's badges, emails, and it used to drive me nuts. I get it for those people who are non-binary or trans, but for those people who are clearly male or clearly female, I'm like, why the fuck have you got it on there? Oh, the thing is, this is real life politics coming into video games. I just don't think it should be in video games, personally. I understand for some people it's a big thing. Now, you can argue and go, well, it's not really a big thing. Well, why are you bothered if I moan about it then? Maybe it can be an additional thing. If you want to have your pronouns in there, fine. But it shouldn't be a request that we all have to do. Like, I shouldn't have to put he, him on my profile. If you want to put it in there, make it an option, to be honest. And I think this caused a lot of damage towards Starfield because as soon as the game was coming out, this was all everyone was talking about. And number 9, body type 1 and 2. Yes, I'm using footage from Dragon Quest III because this is where a lot of the flack came in, but I know it's not the only game. Now in the original Dragon Quest III, and I've got multiple copies of that over various consoles, you could pick either the male or female. I regularly pick the male, but when I'm going to be doing the HD remake version, I'm going to be picking the female. However, here, it's presented not as male or female, it's presented as body type 1 or body type 2. No, it is male or female. I understand that this is about inclusion, I do, I understand you want to bring everyone in, but what you're actually doing is pissing off the remaining 99.99%. Like imagine the Doctor when the boy comes out, oh, it's body type 1, congrats, fuck off. And now with the Japanese government trying to put things in place to stop the Western ideas coming into their video games, I wonder if Square Enix will patch that out. Be a big call if they do, I want to see if it happens. And number 8, the flags. And when it comes to expressing pride about LGBTQ plus two-spirit penguin, if you know what that's about, you know. Like, this is often done through flags, and fine, go nuts. Like, honestly, as I reiterate, I don't care where you stick it. Go nuts, I've got loads of gay friends, it's fine. However, I sometimes find it's plastered all over video games and it can just break immersion immediately. Like, some developers like Helldivers 2, when that game came out, people wanted trans flags in there and they were like, no, we don't want that in there because that's modern day politics, which has nothing to do with this game. Call of Duty put loads of them in there as tags, more so than actual country flags. Spider-Man on the PS4 and PS5 had, and in Spider-Man there were absolutely tons of them around New York City, and that's fair enough because there would be flags, there would be, as it'd be a good representation of what New York City would be. But the amount in that game was absolutely stupid. I don't think New York City became an absolute rainbow fest, I really don't. Again, it breaks the immersion. And then there was a lot of hoo-ha because someone invented a mod to replace all the LGBT flags with American flags, and oh my god, it got banned. I don't agree with that. because they bought the game. It's their game. They can make mods. Do I necessarily agree with the mods? No, but it's their mod. They can do what they want. I also think there'll be probably a lot of American flags because it's America and it's New York City. Also, I remember when I was playing Smash Brothers and people were trying to make stages of the trans flag. I'm like, why? Why? It's got nothing to do with the game. Nothing. Just, I want to play a game with Pikachu beating the fudge out of Mario. Again, I'm not against the trans flag. I'm just against all politics and that sort of bollocks in a fighting game. Ridiculous. And number 7, gender. I'm going to stress this enough. I don't give a rat's ass what gender you identify as. I really don't care. You do you. Have fun. However, having it as one of the main discussions in a game, no. I am looking at you, Dragon Age the Veilguard, when art decided to become political messaging. Thanks. And pulling above. That was one of the most cringeworthy scenes in all of gaming. And don't give me, well, you didn't play the rest of the game. I don't care. I don't want to play the game. But this is meant to be a video game, not a gender theory lecture. Like, I've finished school. I've done university. Twice. It's not because I've flunked out. I've got a master's degree. So before anyone goes, he's stupid, whatever. Like, I've got no problem with a trans or a non-binary character, but don't make that the center of their character, like it's the first thing about them. Like, just make a good trans character. You want me to give you one? Look at Season 2, Squid Games, Cho. So that was a trans female taking part to get more operations for surgery. And the fact that they were trans was briefly touched on, but after that, you just kind of got on with it. And it was never the defining trait of Cho. Cho was a badass. She was a well-written character who we could get behind. And was one of my favourite in the series. So developers, make more characters like Cho, and I won't have a goddamn freaking issue. And number 6. Buff female women. Yes, we know the trope. Abby from The Last of Us Part 2. She just looked fucking stupid. Like, she had the frame of a man. Also, I don't really think in the apocalypse, the plant-based zombie mushroom thing apocalypse, you're going to be able to maintain that frame. How much protein are you going to need to put away? Like, Abby was a result of the girl boss era. Like, girls can do everything. They're better than a male. And to make it, more often than not, we've got that buzz side haircut. Now, she doesn't have that, which surprised me. But God, I hate it so much. Like, don't get me wrong, I like athletic women. Like Tifa, for example. And even Gina Carano is quite buff. Rhea Ripley is quite buff. She's considered a really strong woman. She hasn't even got the frame that Abby has in The Last of Us Part 2. She just looks stupid. And no one's going to argue with me otherwise. Well, they can argue with me. But no one's going to deny and think I'm wrong on this point. Number 5. Changing history because why not? Oh, Ubisoft, this should have been the easiest goal ever. Release a Japanese-focused Assassin's Creed game with a Japanese protagonist and focus on Japanese culture. Win-win. No, you bring in Yasuke, a black man whose role in Japan is highly talked about, but you took it he was a samurai from one book which is practically considered fiction. And you want to make it worse? Oh yes, when you had the trailer, you put rap music to it. Why not? 'Cause he black. Like, it was an insane own goal. And one that Ubisoft got ripped for. Like, so many things, developers just go, yeah, I'm going to race swap it, why not? And I've got nothing against Yasuke, he has been used in other forms. However, when you're doing Assassin's Creed, it should have been one of the main samurai warriors who of the era. That would have been the perfect win-win. It's like argument's sake, I'm putting it out there. If they do Assassin's Creed and they base it in Africa and they want to look at African culture, well, we're just going to put a white guy in there. That's stupid. I know people go, yes, there were white people in Africa. Of course there were. But if you want to teach, about black history and you suddenly change it, that's just absolutely insane. And I'd be like, what the hell? No, you can't do that. And number 4, this will piss people off. Ugly women. My wife is in earshot as I record this. No, my wife is a beautiful woman. Many complained we only have hot women as the main character, so you can jack off to it. That is true. No, it's incorrect. But let me just turn the table here before we start going, men are sick, men are pervs. Final Fantasy 16. Clive, very attractive male. But let me just remove Clive from the agenda. Add me instead. Add me. I am now Clive. I'm no stunner. I guarantee if you put me on the front of Final Fantasy 16, people aren't going to want to play that game. Clive is an attractive, he's a well-designed character. And that's why the design of your main character is often what grabs people's attention. It's a fact. Again, you put me on the front cover, I ain't gonna look that well. It's gonna sell poorly. But if you look over the years, we've had numerous examples of ugly female characters Star Wars Outlaws, Horizon Zero Dawn, the new Fable trailer, ugh, Jade from Mortal Kombat, Mary Jane from Spider-Man. Now, I'm sorry, Mary Jane is meant to be a goddamn superwoman. She's meant to be this amazing hot redhead, and we all go, oh my god, she's so hot. And then we get the games and go, what? No. I'm not going to hear the argument when they say, oh, it's really difficult to take the actual character model and then put them in the game and, you know, make it one for one, and it's very hard to do. Like, I know I can't do that, that's fine, I'm not a developer. But when the East seem to do it, like, some of the characters are absolutely beautiful. I'm like, no. Now, people did moan when Stellar Blade came out. Oh, also, that's based off a model. No problem. But guess what? Stellar Blade was a good game as well. Like, don't get me started on Tifa. Like, what do you want me to do? Put a bag on her head? Like, just ask yourself also the question, why is games like Honkai Star Rail so popular? Oh yeah, fit anime women. Sorry, that's what they want. People like beautiful characters. It's just a fact. And number 3, bashing men. Now, this is a problem with most media, but gaming has had its problems. Women amazing, men bad. I've already kind of said that. And I absolutely hate it. Like, both characters, both genders can be good, both can be flawed. But men in this generation are made to be inferior to women in every single way. Main example I'm going to say is Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2. He's the main character of Spider-Man, but he just sits in a cook chair in his own game. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, prime example. All the male heroes are given terrible deaths apart from Wonder Woman. And don't give me that, I don't care. Don't really give a shit about any retcon after that. In Lex Luthor's profiles as well, he's going how the men are absolutely stupid, but the Amazon women, well, they're amazing and we need to replicate their culture. Well, have you actually researched that? You ever wondered where the boys and the men are? Oh yeah, they're sold off for weapons and goods. Yeah, really great society there, Lex. Number 2, censoring. This one just gets my goat. I go again to Dragon Quest III, where the late great Akira Toriyama's artwork had been recently altered. Most notably, the female warrior design. They put an undergarment underneath her armor. Now, that's just one example, and there have been numerous examples over the years. Like, look at Mortal Kombat in the 90s. Primal Rage had a fatality where one of the characters would piss on the opponent, which is freaking hilarious. And the Ninja Turtles, we had it as Hero back in the UK. What did they think we all would do? Run around the street to become ninjas? My argument is either a country bans it or they just leave it alone. Like, yeah, you might not like what the content is. Well, don't consume it. You might not like that this female character is just literally wearing an armored bra and armored underwear and that's it. Fine. Don't play the game. Don't use that character. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. There's stuff in Japan, there's artwork that I think is a bit too far. I'm like, ooh. Not really appropriate, that, in my opinion. However, I'm not going to go near it. I'll stay away from it. That's theirs. It's legal. So deal with it. Censoring itself is basically on one person's interpretations and then forcing that worldview on the general population. I don't like it. Again, either you like it or you don't. And if you don't like it, just leave it alone. It's none of your business. And finally, number 1. The banning of Tatars. What are wrong with Tatars? You all know what I'm on about. When I see they've reduced the size of ladies' tatars, I get very annoyed. Women can have big tatars. They are in the world. I'm sorry. Like, okay, too big can be insane. You want an example? Final Fantasy VII Remake, there was a mod that made all the female characters have gigantic breasts. And I mean gigantic. Like, they were like triple O's or something stupid. They're not. It's just ridiculous. It just made me laugh more than anything. And I wouldn't want to play the game the whole way as that because I just wouldn't find it entertaining. The joke would get old quite quickly. However, you look at characters like Tifa, Lara Croft, Rouge the goddamn Bat. They went after that bat. But they've all been deflated. And I'm like, why? Why? Again, large breasts are a thing. You can call me a perv all you want. That's fine. Wait till we do the top 10 waifus. We're going to do that, and we're going to do top 10 male characters. We do both. But either way, that is 10 things that I hate about woke modern culture stuff. And as I said, you may completely disagree with me in the comments. That is completely fine. I am an old man shouting at the cloud. That's just how I roll. It's just what I am. An idiot who probably drinks too much. But until then, I'll see everyone maybe in a few days for another video. You will take care of yourself. My name's been Danny. Bye-bye.